guys look good. This is strong.
The general level of hotness on set is crazy.
We are a very fortunate cast of ladies. I mean, I may be a little biased, but I have to say that out of any show out there, I think we have them beat.
This moment's happening, but you're not around.
Yeah, man.
You got me searching, but you can't be found.
They seem to like me with my shirt off. It seems whenever they can write a scene for it, it seems to somehow slide in there.
We were actually doing a read-through the other day for one of the episodes. I just kind of glanced over and then I was like, wow, some really cute boys on our show. Good job, casting.
When the show first started, like in the character description, it was like beautiful, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm not. And so I went and I think I like tanned a lot. I used like whitening strips, and I like worked out like a fiend.
Mr. Fitz, he's all right.
He's just got this like boyish charm, but he's still sexy. So he's like, it's very hard to be cute and sexy at the same time.
And it's like that whole classic fantasy thing when you like your teacher, right?
He's got like beautiful bone structure. Like so stupid that jaw is like out of control.
We read many different types for that role, some older, some younger. And when Ian came in, we had narrowed it down to about 10 actors who we really loved, all of whom were very talented. And then we had him come in and read with Lucy.
I remember telling Marlene King, one of the executive producers, and Leslie Glatter, who directed the pilot, I was like, after the first audition, I was like, that's him.
I think in many ways, Ian is Ezra-like. He's a romantic, he's always reading on set, so there is an Ezra-ness to Ian.
Part of his look comes from a certain self-awareness that I have to toe the line.
You must give up the life you had planned in order to have a life that is waiting for you.
Our romantic scenes have been it's been very interesting, this whole journey, and I look back on it now, like, as we get to the end of season 2, where it's gotten to. The pilot in Vancouver, I was sitting there, like, brushing my teeth, like, flossing and mouthwash, like, twice.
It's so funny, it's like 2 years later, and we're still making out with each other.
And now she's lucky if I brush my teeth.
What's so funny about the scene where I'm running out in the parking lot to sort of stop him from leaving and we twirl and kiss. It's so funny because it was actually one of the most awkward scenes for me to film.
It was like in a back lot on Warner Brothers, and it was outside. It was actually a parking lot, and there were literally tours going on. I felt like a tourist attraction.
You know, on paper, obviously, it reads beautifully. It's like, this is like fairy tale romance. But when we were shooting it, like, I was in a short skirt, and I had like clunky boots on, and he was stepping on my feet, and like everything sort of went wrong, but they sort of edited it, added the right song, lit it nicely, and it's turned out amazing. Drew is actually the complete opposite of Ian in real life. Drew is like very reserved and quiet.
We wanted somebody who had a little bit of a darker edge to them. And when we first introduced him on the show, Drew was sort of for Arya to be getting in touch with her darker side a little bit.
When people show up in your dreams, it's not because they want something from you, because you want something from them.
We were thinking about some sexual tension between Drew's character, Jason, and one, if not more, of the PLLs.
Listen, I'm glad I bumped into you. I was hoping we could talk.
And Drew brought some edge to that, which was really fun for us. We hadn't had anybody in the show quite like that.
We wanted to find someone who had a quiet intensity.
The brooding stare that Drew does is very much Drew and just sort of his natural way of connecting with people.
Jason and Arya's, relationship has kind of grown into something where she understands him.
I mean, you always did the unexpected, as opposed to me. Which I also thought was cool.
He's like that weird transformation that you haven't seen someone in a long time, and he comes back and he's like, wow.
Be cool. Are you ready for me?
I'm very rarely distracted by the way someone looks. Usually I'm just collected, can act with whatever. But initially when I saw him, I was like double take, because he's like visually almost flawless.
Lucy and I are pretty comfortable with each other. We're good friends. We had never kissed before, so, I mean, there's always that little bit of that awkward moment beforehand.
I think it's really cool that we have such a variety of boys on our show, too. We've got the bad boy, we've got Caleb. He's very sweet and he has a sense of side, especially for Hannah.
Who you see on your screen is very much who he is.
I would say that I have bits of my personality that are similar to Caleb.
Nice work.
It was easy.
They're very similar in a lot of ways.
I feel like I have some wittiness to me. Maybe they have different mating rituals in your book club. Maybe a slight streak of bad boy.
We had narrowed it down to like 5 or 6 guys, and they all came in and read with Ashley Benson.
He came in, he read, he was really good, and he just seemed like a Caleb.
We all knew in the room, too, that that was a lot of magic that those guys had. They were really flirting with each other in the room.
Events occur for both Hannah and Caleb that do bring them closer together, and one of them being he finds out who his real mom is, and that's huge for him.
She did apologize for taking so long to find me.
That was a very emotional scene to film, and it was one of those moments as an actor where everything else around you goes away.
And then she said that my voice sounds just like my father's.
We were all crying on set that day. There wasn't a dry eye because he really brought so much to his performance.
Certain elements of him remind me of Toby, just because he is so sweet. You know, sometimes he's kind of quiet until you get to know him. You know, he has these really intense eyes, and sometimes feelings are a little bit cloudy, so you're like, are you okay? Okay, you're okay, right? All right.
He was mysterious, brooding. The black cat of Rosewood was the way they described it. And I love that because my power animal, it's a panther. So immediately I was like, I feel like I can understand this kid.
The first season, we played him much more as a misfit and sort of the Boo Radley. And then once our characters fell in love with him, the audience, I think, was seduced as well.
Emily, do you see how easy it was for us to get back to this place? It'll always be like that.
His eyes just draw you in, and there's a sort of mystery about them. You just kind of like, whoa, you get sucked in.
I remember the first time that I had to kiss Troyan. I couldn't sleep the night before. I was so worried. It was like the first time that I had ever kissed a girl on a TV show. And I was so nervous.
My first kissing scene with Keegan was outside of the motel room when he kisses me in front of the car. I woke up that morning and was deathly ill. And I mean, not pretty ill.
Before we started doing the scene, she started eating an apple, and she's like, it's all good, you're fine. And I was like panicked. I was like so nervous. I was like eating gum and mints and things. And
he was very, very nervous about it, and he was very excited about it. And I was just like, I need more Kleenex. Like this poor boy, like give me more Kleenex. It was not pretty. And he was very polite, and he said that it was a lovely kiss. And I was like, you're absolutely insane, because right now my nose is like bright red, and I'm about to pass out on you.
We high-fived afterwards. Like, after we did the kiss, I remember I was like, high five, and like Borat high-fived her.
Look, maybe we should both enjoy the fact that those pretty big things are over.
The first time we had a shirtless scene, it was Toby, and I didn't have any idea what was under that shirt of his.
Every time that it's happened to anybody on the show, when there has to be any kind of awkward clothes displacement, everyone starts to laugh and go, ooh.
Hey. You have that freak out moment of, oh my God, I'm not gonna like do this, that, and the other thing, and I need to work out every day.
You know, I panic a little bit just because it's very vulnerable to have your shirt off in front of millions of people.
We get the script a week ahead of time usually. So I'm not gonna suddenly look like one of the guys from 300 in a week.
Well, I ask that they let me know as far in advance as possible so I can change my diet and start doing some crunches because I don't exercise and I don't really watch what I eat.
He was like in these little bathing suit shorts, and I think he was just a little embarrassed to be in front of all the crew and close to nothing and me.
Some actors are more self-conscious than others, but our actors don't seem to be. They enjoy it. Take your clothes off.
My personal experience from being on the show has just been nothing but positive.
I've worked on many shows, and I'd say the chemistry here is one of the best.
And they're also like really good people. I mean, everybody's like, oh, like the cast is so good looking, but they're like really good people.
They're nice on the set, off the set, with their shirts on, with their shirts off. We'll take them however they want to come to us. I'm very grateful to have them all on the show and grateful for their hard work, and we can't wait to see, you know, what they bring to the party for season 3.
Fashion and style is so important to shows like this.
Okay, how much are you loving these outfits?
In a word, it's original.
Some of my favorite shows, they're my favorite shows because when I'm watching them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love what she's wearing.
I've been so blessed for it to become a character on the show.
All the girls are so different. They each have their own kind of fashion sense.
We're just raising the bar, especially with the second season.
When I first got on the show, I knew what I wanted to do and kind of where I can take this because the pilot was so awesome, but I saw that the clothes had so much potential.
She was clear. She said, I am who I am, and I like to make a statement. I like these girls to be distinctive. I want to know that's an Aria jacket. I want to know those are Spencer shoes. And we've sort of followed her lead.
Aria is so eclectic and one of a kind. She's that girl that you look at and go, what did she put on and how does that look good?
What's cool about Aria is that she really doesn't have one word that describes her style. She's sort of all over the place.
Lucy Hale helps me out a lot, her being her. Sometimes I have to stop myself and be like, okay, man, do you have like 6 jackets on her? Because you can do anything with her.
Especially for my character, she'll like take parts of a shirt and add it to another shirt. There's a lot of layering with Aria.
I think it's a lovely metaphor for her as a character because she has to sort of go to school and live her life as a teenager. Her secret life is very adult.
Was there anything else that I need to know?
She wears a lot of stripes. She wears a lot of animal print. And the cool thing is she mixes things that you would never think to put together.
This is one of my favorite things about Lucy. I'll put 5 rings in her room to choose, and all the other girls will be like, I want 2. Aria comes out, doesn't say a word. She got them all on.
Aria pushes the envelope with her accessories, without a doubt. She's always looking for a fashion statement, and she totally utilizes accessories.
I always wear lots of rings on one hand, which is sort of like a Lucy thing, and I sort of incorporated it into Aria's style.
She has to wear armor. Of all our characters, there's a lot of armor she has to wear, just because of the secret life she lives.
I put soft colors on her sometimes because you look at Lucy and she's just seriously looks like a doll sometimes. I'm drawn to the sweeter colors for her, but I really like blacks and leathers.
I have a personal favorite. It was from the mid-season finale of season 2. And I had this like really cool maxi skirt on, but the thing that stands out to me is it got a lot of attention where I had my hair in a ponytail and I had these like gravity-defying earrings on. They were huge and really geometric, and I had this like cut-up sweater, which is cool. And that's one of my favorite outfits that I would actually wear in real life. I love shoes so much. I don't think she's ever worn a pair twice.
I don't even know how many black boots she has. She can't have enough because I was like, yeah, but it just needs to be this one higher. Oh, but this needs a buckle and oh, it needs a little more platform. So I can never find the perfect black boot, which is the same thing in my life. So I think I'm giving her like my ADD with boots.
She puts her heart and soul into, you know, every outfit, and especially with Aria because she says that Aria is like a miniature her, and it's sort of how she dresses in real life.
Aria's black and red striped masquerade dress. We made the fabric. I designed it. It's from head to toe. It's something that I've wanted to do for so long.
We had a specific shoe meeting with Mandy. We're like, Mandy, even though we want the girls to look awesome, they're gonna be running and running and running in these shoes. So please give us something just like a little bit sensible for them. Well, on the day they show up and they get out of their car and I see them in heels that are about this big. So this was Mandy Li's version of sensible shoe.
It's already so bad. How can it get worse?
I have a personal favorite just because it's so absurd and out there. I look slightly like Beetlejuice, which sounds insane, but I had on these Jeffrey Campbell shoes. They almost look like Lady Gaga would wear them. Believe it or not, I was towering over all the other girls, which is a first for me. Don't look at me. Hannah's the one trying out. I'm just here to make her look taller.
I think Hannah is the it girl. She's the one that looks through the magazines. There's nothing that she wouldn't do for fashion.
I didn't know Tori made those boots in brown.
Season 2, Hannah's actually a little bit more sophisticated. She's taking more risks, and she's wearing funky heels or really big jewelry.
Hannah's coming into her own, so this is somebody who's learning how she can actually show off.
She just tries to play everything up and make it such a fashion statement that it was like, where'd you get that?
I made her a little more edgy this season because I think fashion is taking more risks.
One of the characters' funerals in the second season where Hannah wore a, I think, micro mini.
Hannah, it's a funeral, not a Nicki Minaj concert.
So what? I can't dance on his grave? Can I at least throw confetti?
The girls on the show have so many favorite outfits of mine. One of Hannah's is this black and white blazer from H&M, which I got too. And this bright, bright, bright pink, and you can see through it, so I put a really, really short little skirt underneath it. She had heels with no heel.
One of the outfits you'll see was a really big black long dress. It went shorter in the front and longer in the back with this amazing brown leather jacket and these like super tall Sam Edelman heels, like 6 or 7 inches. They were so tall.
Are you asking us to wear these?
The brighter, the better, the softer. She's very drapey. She's sexy. I don't know how much shorter her skirts can get. I don't know how much higher her heels can get.
That's like the best part about being Hannah, because she gets to wear the coolest clothes and the cutest dresses and skirts and a lot of high-waisted jeans and blazer and heels.
You can tell a lot about a person by their shoes.
She has really cool jackets this season with scarves, and we've played around with a lot of hats, which I would never really normally wear in my real life. She has amazing earrings. Like, I mean, these are really awesome. She has a lot of big hoop earrings. She has amazing chain necklaces. She likes to stack bracelets.
Anything that, of course, again says, like, look at me.
Are you satisfied? Yeah, I'm good.
Emily started out very sporty, and I think with anyone, you become who you are inside, and I think that really changes in everything.
Emily's fashion sense is constantly changing and transforming as Emily's character changes.
Just being around the other girls as they become closer, I feel like she's kind of picked items off of each of them and made them work for herself.
This season, her clothes have become more distinctive. She's got a look. She knows what she likes, and she wants to attract a certain kind of person, too.
Okay, are those this season?
There's a lot of boots, a lot of denim, a lot of fun, loose tops, and like sportier tops, off-the-shoulder tops.
She actually looks really pretty in bold colors, but I keep her in grays and blacks now.
She gets a lot of cool accessories. I got a really cool bow and arrow necklace that I really liked, and like a lot of the rings we play around with.
Very minimal. She only likes studs, no hoops.
Probably have to say I've gotten to wear some really fun sneakers.
Simple chains if she does go to like a dance or something. The buckles, the All Saints kind of boots, the military boots. She's got so many boots.
We do work the handbags. We've gotten some really great ones. Rebecca Minkoff is one of my favorite handbag designers. Even our handbags are so different, and they're perfect for each of our characters. So it's really, yeah, it's fun.
That's not the right top. You need to turn heads.
My look has changed a lot. When we were first put out, it was very, very young. Spencer was, they quoted her as the all-American girl. Literally, I'm not kidding. Every outfit I wore was red, white, and blue.
Well, Spencer comes from a preppy, old money family, so the idea with her is there's always going to be a certain amount of traditional look. But you'll notice in the second season, which we really are enjoying, she's sort of breaking away from her family, and you'll see that in costume.
I put a little hipster vibe on her, too. I keep the conservative. She doesn't do low. She does short, but she always has tights.
Listen, Spencer, decisions had to be made.
She's true to the conservative color palette. Navies, forest greens, brown boots.
So she's very, very constructed, very well put together and classic. in all regards, whatever she's doing.
The more cream, the better. She's seriously a hanger.
Mandy is really wonderful at incorporating my own sense of style into Spencer and letting Spencer be kind of influenced by what she sees me in. The fact that I wear vintage riding boots and she gives those to Spencer. So Spencer's in a lot of equestrian accoutrement, and there's a very almost Victorian or classical feel about Spencer.
I have a weird animal fetish with her. She always wears little owls or deers, and I don't know why, but this started and I'm going with it.
If you look, like the prints are always like bird prints, or she has elephant earrings, or like there's a giraffe like bracelet.
She puts a twist on the classic. I think you can take the Ralph Lauren and she'll put some crazy tie on or some like really great vintage belt, and
she's always going for like one thing. It's like she's a sailor today or she's a schoolgirl today.
Hers is preppy classic with a twist.
We did a whole episode where Spencer wore like a full-on denim like cowgirl outfit, and it was so not Spencer, and yet it really was. When we watched the episode, it was like, of course Spencer would wear that. It's like head-to-toe horse gear.
What's a nice way to say someone's obsessive?
Mandy is Mandy. There are no words to describe Mandy. She is hilarious.
I mean, you could build a fence around Mandy and sell tickets. She's the real thing, you know? She's a ride.
She's a visionary. She tells a story with wardrobe in ways that I think most people don't understand. Those stories can be told.
The great thing about Mandy is that she's not dictated by an idea.
The way she builds a wardrobe with the limited resources that she has is intense and amazing.
When the show first started out, and it was under a lot of pressure from our network because they wanted to make the girls very iconic from the beginning. And Mandy, by the time she stepped in, was like, I can make them iconic. That doesn't mean that they have to be wearing the same thing all the time. I know how to hit Spencer while making Spencer more edgy.
I think the look could be high fashion, but I don't think the price necessarily needs to be high fashion. And I think our show is unique in that way that the viewers can really buy what they see.
She has a mind of her own. The things she comes up with is truly amazing, and all the credit goes to her, for sure.
Even when I'm not working, I find myself shopping for them and going, wait a minute, I've got to stop, because it's like this, probably my shopping obsession, and I'm able to take it out on the show.
She is so aware of what's going on in terms of trends and styles.
It's just really cool to know that we have such an influence on, you know, teenagers that watch the show. It's really cute. They send me photos of them at school and they're like, this is my hand-inspired look. And it's something very similar to what I've worn on the show.
Oh, God. I swear I love everything. I get so into it.